Okay guys, the eggless buns, the ready palm, right? So for all breads basically we need the dough, the atta, the flour. We need the yeast sugar solution. We need some fat and some salt, correct? So these are all the ingredients we need: the salt, the milk powder. Here I have some water with sugar in it. Dissolve it. And I have half a stick of butter here. This is the yeast I use. Store it in a refrigerator in an airtight container for... Oh, that glove is because I put mehndi, right? So I'm trying to protect the color. Anyways, so and then I like to use this gluten powder. It's not a necessary item, it's optional. I like the wheat gluten in all kind of breads, not in cakes, okay? For bread, if you're using all-purpose flour and not the bread flour, add wheat gluten powder. I got this from Amazon. Always try and use unbleached flour, okay? Organic doesn't matter for flour. It doesn't really add much value, organic or non-organic, but unbleached is good for you. For about every 2 cups of all-purpose flour, add 1 tablespoon of the wheat gluten powder, okay? That will give you nice texture to your dough. The gluten film is formed well. The bread rises well. There is nice mesh of bubbles in the bread. So, yeah. And I have how much of each ingredient you need. I'll just put it on a post-it and click a picture, okay? So basically this recipe will make 24, yeah, I think I made 24 of these buns. I think each bun was around like 50 grams. So 24 of these buns, 45-50 grams each. So I took 4 cups of flour. You can do less. I think 24 buns is a little bit too much, but I have this big tray and I want to fill it up. So I'm going to just make a whole lot and then give it away. So this recipe is 4 cups of all-purpose flour. So I will add around 2 to 3 tablespoons of the gluten powder. You need 1.5 cup of milk. I am using 1.5 cup of water because yeast does not dissolve well in milk. It's a painful procedure. So what I'll do is, instead of taking milk, I'm taking the same amount, 1.5 cup of water. I added some sugar in it already. I heated it up, just lukewarm, and then I'm gonna add yeast to it and dissolve the yeast in it and let it proof, okay? Now, instead of milk, I'm using water, so I'm gonna add milk powder instead. For every cup of milk, you need 1/3 cup of milk powder. So I will add 2 1/3 cups. This is the 1/3 cup measure. I'm going to add 2 of those. 1, another one. Oh, come on. Okay, another 1/3 cup. So I put 4 cups of flour, 2 1/3 cups of milk powder, 2 teaspoons of salt. Okay, I don't have to record all of this. I'm going to put 2 teaspoons of this, okay, of salt. And then I'm going to add 4 teaspoons of yeast. I'm going to take 4 teaspoons of this yeast and dissolve it in the water, okay? Okay, so I added the 4 teaspoons of yeast and this 1.5 cup of water and some sugar. See how it tends to clump together? You want to break those yeast clumps, okay? Make sure they kind of dissolved. So if you just crush it against the wall of the bowl with your spoon, it kind of breaks up and goes into the water. Now, if you get a lot of yeast like I do, you can keep it in an airtight container in the refrigerator for better shelf life. Okay, see how this was just clumping together? Kind of like crush it against the wall of the bowl with your spoon. Yeah, we're almost there. A little bit more. I'm just going to take all of this. Put it in here. Get off. Okay. That looks good, about right. Okay, I'm just going to get it into the water. And now we'll let it sit for about 5 to 10 minutes. It'll be proofed. It'll just fluff up. I'll show you what it looks like. Okay guys, so I have all my dry ingredient, that is the flour, the gluten powder, the salt and the milk powder in here. I have my half a stick of butter here. The yeast is proofed, ready to go. Oh yeah, I remember someone asking me how I store my flour. So kids don't get into it. I keep my roti flour, just the bag, and this one in this big container. The all-purpose flour I keep in this for breads. Yeah. Okay, back to the bread. So I'm going to pour this and the butter and start recording when it starts mixing again, okay? Just about started mixing. Always, I just started mixing the dough. I like this machine over the KitchenAid. KitchenAid doesn't have as much strength as this one for bread flours and stuff. And always do it at low speed, okay? So I just get started and this is what it looks like. Okay. It's barely like 15 seconds. At this point, I like to just, I don't want to use that hand. I just like to feel the dough. This seems a bit dry to me. I'll need a little bit more water. Okay. Keep in mind, if you add the gluten powder, it's going to take a lot more water than without the gluten powder. Gluten powder has a lot of protein, absorbs a lot of water, forms a nice film on your dough. So taking about this much, must be like 1 tablespoon of water. Let's see, might need more. You want to make the dough really wet and sticky looking like that, but that's just on the surface. Inside might be still quite dry. So I'm going to mix it for a little bit. If the entire dough looks very sticky like that, wet, then that's good. Some more water, just maybe half a tablespoon more water I'm going to add, okay? Don't look at my dirty sink. Haha. Just put very little bit, like half a tablespoon, okay? So total 1.5 tablespoon water I added because I add a lot of gluten. You won't need that if you're not adding gluten, okay? Right now we are like a minute or so into kneading, okay? Stop here just to show you guys what the dough looks like. See what messy, sticky, wet dough? Yeah, that's what we want, okay? Now we're gonna keep mixing it for about 4 to 6 minutes, okay? And suddenly it will be like, ta-da, the whole dough comes up together into one lump, okay? What I'll do is let it mix for like 4 minutes and then I'll start recording again, okay? It's only been like a minute and a half. I thought it would take 4 minutes. Sometimes it does take a little longer. It's already come together, see? The bowl looks clean. Right? I don't need the shield anymore. I'm gonna feel it. Oh, so soft. The dough is so soft. I'm gonna let it mix. मुझे मेहनत नहीं करनी है, right? Machine को और 1-2 minute I'm just gonna run, okay? So I've been kneading it for about 4 minutes, okay? When your bowl is clean and it's form a big ball, I just put the lid on and let it rise in this. You could remove the dough and put it in another bowl and put some oil on top of it and then put a cling wrap and then let it rise. Okay, so that's the first step of proofing the dough. I just put this lid on, that's why I like this machine. If you don't have the lid, just you can put a cling wrap over your bowl. If you have a stand mixer like this, you can just put a cling wrap, right? And let it rise in 30-45 minutes. Nothing's gonna happen. About 30 to 45 minutes later, it's gonna fluff up to twice its size. That's when we will knead it again for like a minute or two, and then we will make the dough balls, okay? Bye. Okay, friends. So it's been half an hour. I hate this one hand business. Okay, wow, look at that. It's all fluffed up. Looks nice and smooth. Right? Now I'm going to show you. I can tell the film is really good. When you stretch the dough, Wait, I think I need someone to help me. So you knead it again for a minute or two. So we're kneading it after the first proofing, we're kneading it for a minute or two. And then we'll shape the balls, okay? And then bake it. No, then proof it, then bake it. So my dough is ready. Right? It's okay, I'll touch it with gloves.
Yep.
It's nice and soft. See? It's not very dense like a roti dough. It's very, very soft. And very spongy. Kind of springs back. Okay? So I'm going to weigh the whole dough, and then we want to make 24 buns. I just sprayed the tray with oil. I don't really need to because it's non-stick, but I'm going to make 4 by 6, 24 buns. Okay, so I'm going to weigh the whole thing. It's 1175 grams. So Alexa, what is 1175 divided by 24?
1,175 divided by 24 is 48.9583.
Yeah, so we're gonna make around
49.
45 to 50 gram doughs, right? That was the plan. So this is how we're gonna make the dough. I'm just gonna weigh one and then get an idea of what 48 grams feels like. That's probably too much, yeah. That's 57. It's tiny. So used to making brioche buns, which are 90 grams. This feels so tiny. 47, okay? So I'm gonna make doughs about this size. You can either just measure one and get a feel of it, or you can just measure weigh all of them. Okay, so now to make the dough with the glove is gonna be interesting. Should I remove the glove? Then we don't eat this dough because that dough is gonna smell of henna, ne? So,
Wait, I'm
so record kar raha na? Yeah. Okay. So can you come in light so they can see better? So that's the dough, right? I am recording here. So this is the dough. I'm just gonna make it round like this. Now to give it a nice uniform smooth surface, I push it like this with my finger from the bottom, right? 1 or 2 fingers, and you're holding it around like this with your index finger and thumb. Push it like this. That's it. It's ready. You can turn it around. This dough probably will smell of henna. I'm going to throw it, but you take that dough, put it here, and we're going to keep the doughs close to each other. 4 by 6, 24. Like a bubble. The dough is so soft that it's a stress reliever to play with it. Almost done. Last dough. See, I'm making the last dough, the first row here. It's such a warm day, they're already rising. So I just sprayed some oil spray, and then wait, let me put this in. Okay, so I put some oil spray, the last row. And then, where's the lid? Oh, under it. I'm just gonna put this and let it sit here for maybe half an hour. They'll fluff up, they'll all join together. Then we put it in the oven at 375 degrees Fahrenheit for about 15 to 18 minutes. I kind of keep it at the lower rack. Okay, so I'll show you what it looks like when it's ready to go in the oven, and then once after it's baked. Bye. So are you guys ready? Ta-da! They look like little bubbles, not little, big bubbles. Okay, I've started preheating my oven. I put it in the oven, ignore the mess. Okay, I put it in the oven at the second notch, okay? The rack is in the second notch. I'll put it there at 375 degrees Fahrenheit for 15 to 18 minutes. Okay. Nice. Okay. So I just got the buns out of the oven. This is what they look like. I forgot to baste it with milk before I put it in the oven. Just got distracted. So you're just supposed to take some milk in a bowl like that and then baste it and then put it in the oven to bake. Okay, so be very gentle. You don't want to break the fill. So gently apply milk and then put it in the oven. It gives a nicer, darker color, but this is good too. Now I'm going to remove it and put it on the wire rack to cool off.